It's the Full Court Press with Eric Frandsen and Jason Walker.
Welcome back to the to the show that we're doing right now.
Following the local teams, breaking down the biggest games with in-depth analysis and team interviews.
There's going to be much higher expectations, sense of awareness of what we bring to the table.
Join the show by calling into 435-752-1069 or text 435-339-0321. It's the Full Court Press.
Rose, answer. Yes! Caught! Touchdown! They did it!
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome on in to another edition of the Full Court Press. Eric Frandsen, Jason Walker. You're on a Thursday. Always love to have you be a part of the show. Feel free to text into the program, 435-339-0321. A couple different things we're going to be getting to today. Utah State, 3-4. San Jose State, 2-5. Are they as they seem with their records? Are they better than their records indicate? Worse than their records indicate? Or they are what their record says they are?
Yeah, I know. I was kind of curious to talk about this because I was, and I know we'll probably get into this maybe we can get into now or maybe a little bit later. I'll leave it up to you, Eric. But I was sitting sitting in my church building and I overheard a couple of guys. They were just talking about the Utah State-Fresno State game and just eavesdropping, as you do. But they talked about, they brought up this question, are the Aggies as good as, 3-4? Like, are they better than their record or are they not better? And so I was kind of curious to see what the Texers think. Just, are the Aggies who they are when you say they're 3-4? Are they better? Are they worse? It's always an interesting conversation. Of course, it only comes up when you're talking about a team with a losing record. We usually don't talk about it a ton with teams that have really good records. Sometimes you talk about them maybe being pretenders.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about that earlier in the week with UNLV. Are they really as good as their record indicates? And then you look at who they've played, and okay, yeah, I mean they still only have one loss, and they're 5-1 at this point. That's nice, but who have they played?
I think they got a first place vote in the preseason poll.
Yeah, somebody out there knew that things were happening in Las Vegas. I'm not saying that we should totally set that to the side. I mean, you still have to win games, and they're winning and putting up a lot of points. But if they were playing the schedule that Utah State's playing, would they still be with that same record?
No,
Probably not.
Wouldn't.
No. I mean,
and they started last year with a really good record too. I think they started last year 4-1, maybe even better. I'm looking it up right now, but yeah, they start out with a really good record, and did they make a bowl game?
I don't remember them making a bowl game. I don't recall.
I wasn't ready for this.
Yeah.
Well, they would have missed a bowl game because they went 5-7.
Okay.
So I guess they're 5-1 now. I said 4-1 earlier. That was a mistake. But they started last year. They started last year 4-1. Lost their next 6 games, and they won their final game against Nevada. So their 2 conference wins were, they had 3 conference wins because they beat Utah State, beat New Mexico, beat Nevada. So their other wins were their only other FBS win was against North Texas.
Yeah, and I seem to remember there was some conversation. Somebody was trying to make a push to get UNLV to a bowl game, even though they had a 5-7 record.
Well, there was some push to have Marcus Arroyo be Coach of the Year, and he got fired after going 5-7.
Yeah, that's right.
Which I thought was a little extreme. I mean, this team went from going 0-6 to 2-10 to 5-7. But
yeah, they were showing improvement.
Yeah, but I mean, Barry Odom's got him at 5-1. We'll see how the rest of the year goes. But
yeah,
clearly, at least the last 2 coaching hires haven't been disasters.
Yeah, so I guess it kind of stands in contrast that UNLV team at 5-1, not equal to a Fresno State team which is 5-1. or 6-1. I don't know I got to pull up the standings, but so there are differences there in their records and what you think about those teams and the type of season that they've had so far. But when we're looking at the Utah State Aggies and the San Jose State Rebels, San Jose State Spartans, are they what their record indicates? Are they better than their record indicates, or not as good? Because they'll start with San Jose, and this is a team that has 2 victories on the season, one against a lower division team, and one was at New Mexico, which has been struggling. And in those games, they put up north of 50 points. They hung 50 burgers on both of them. And so that's good. You can put that kind of offense together. But are they as good as even only 2 wins, or are they about where we think they are with a 2-5 overall record?
I think you're with San Jose State, and honestly, I think this way for both Utah State and San Jose State. They are pretty dang close to what their record says they are. They are below average teams who have at times played well enough, but inconsistencies and mistakes on their own part have led to them losing a lot of games. And that's what mediocre to below average teams look like. They look good sometimes, they look bad at other times. And so coaches and some fans will be like, oh, they're better than their record says they are. And both these teams, from what strength of schedule metrics I've looked at, both these teams have played pretty strong schedules.
Yeah, San Jose has played USC, Oregon State.
Yeah.
Those were 2 ranked teams at the time.
And 3 of their opponents,
Air Force, who is now ranked.
They're all 3 of San Jose's opponents are currently ranked. So they've played some tough teams. For the Aggies, Iowa's been borderline ranked.
They've gone back and forth, in and out of the top 25.
Yeah, I can't remember where Iowa is now. They might have gone back down, but Air Force currently ranked. James Madison at one point was getting votes in the poll. I don't know where. I've lost track of them. So, both
James Madison, if the poll numbers stop at 25, but if it continued, James Madison would be 26.
Okay, so just barely
in both
outside.
Polls. Yes.
So
and Iowa is in both polls ranked right now.
Yeah.
So is Air Force.
So you've had teams that have played tough opponents, but I mean, I don't know. For even Utah State, like if you want to say, oh, they've played super tough opponents. Well, what have they done against teams that are closer to where they're at? Like, what do they do against UConn? They barely won by the skin of their teeth. With Fresno State, they're better than UConn, obviously, but lose to them. That was probably the most complete game of the year, and they still lost at home to a team with its backup quarterback. And, a wide receiver who's dealing with an ankle injury, and they're down their top defensive back. Like, the Aggies still lost that game. So, I don't see too much of an argument to say Utah State is better than what their record is. They are who they are. Every team they should have lost to, they've lost to. Every team they probably should have beat, they've beat. Can't say anything different about them.
See, I'm going to take the opposing view that I think Utah State is better than their record indicates. Yes, they've lost 4 games, but in 3 of those 4, they were competitive, and definitely in 2 of the 4, the game was down to the wire till the very end of the game before it was decided. So I think that this is a team that's struggled with some consistency, but they've played good football, at least good enough to be in the hunt to win games and be very close to having a winning record to this point.
Okay, but they're in the hunt to win games, but they don't win the games. That's their problem. And again, that's what a mediocre team's going to look like. And Utah State, maybe they're kind of stuck in the no man's land of the middle where they're just not good enough to beat good teams, but they're too good for the teams at the bottom. Although barely beating UConn doesn't really, you have one example against that with UConn, one example kind of for that with Colorado State, where they beat Colorado State by 20 points but narrowly beat UConn. So I don't know. Even in that, Utah State is a confusing team to figure out because they're just so inconsistent that you can't argue that they're better than their record because they can't play consistently enough to show anything. Every positive trend has an exception to where they've played bad. Like their elite offense, what about the first quarter? Some great defensive performances. Look at how many points they've given up to so many different teams. So there's no argument for me that Utah State's better than their record because they can't string enough, they can't string 4 quarters together to prove that they actually are the team that they've showed, flashes of potentially being. So if they fix that, then yeah. But at that point, they'll just start to win games. So for me, the Aggies are exactly who they are at 3-4, and deserve to be there the way they've played.
435-339-0321. If you want to chime in on this, looking at both Utah State, San Jose State, based on their records, are they better, worse, or about where they should be when we considering their record? Is it a better team than the record indicates? Not as good of a team as their record indicates.
Yeah. I mean, and you can almost see it in the way people talk about the rest of the season. They talk about the Aggies, and I think we both think the Aggies are going to probably win at least 3 games, maybe even 4. But we don't say, they're going to get better. It's just because they're playing an easier schedule. We're not saying, the Aggies are going to get way better, and they're suddenly going to start playing better. It's because, the teams they play are worse. Which is exactly the kind of thing that a 500 team does. They play bad against good teams and good against bad teams.
Yeah.
So that's who the Aggies are.
But I wouldn't say the Aggies have played bad. They just haven't played well enough to win. And I think there is a difference.
Did you watch the first quarter of most of the games this season?
But thankfully, the game's not decided by the first quarter of the game.
Several of them have been.
True. If you have a quicker start, then it's a different outcome in the finish.
And, I mean, you look at the end of games, the Aggies have played poor at the end of games. Like, what game have they played where they, especially when they got into a close game, when did they outplay their opponent at the end of a game?
Well, they just ran out of time against James Madison.
They gave up a game-winning touchdown, threw a pick on a game-winning drive, threw a pick on the desperation last drive. That's not running out of time. That's screwing up.
That's fair.
UConn's the best example you can come up with, and they gave up a touchdown that would have tied the game, save for a blocked PAT. That's like tripping over the finish line and somehow still winning. Or I should say like tripping 3 feet short of the finish line, but still like rolling over the finish line. Or like in the movie Cars, where Lightning McQueen is an idiot, but still manages to tie the other guys.
Hops along, and
so
after all those tires are blown.
That's the end of the UConn game. Except, I mean, obviously, slight differentiation between those. But still, that's the kind of way, that's kind of how UConn ended. Colorado State, they were just blowing them out in the second half, so the ending wasn't particularly a matter. Fresno State, they gave up a game-winning touchdown drive, throw a pick on their own potential game winning. Like, they're not playing good at the beginning, and in close games, they're not playing well at the end. That's a team that goes through. They're almost lucky to be 3-4. They probably shouldn't be 3-4 if we're honestly taking into account how they've played in a lot of games.
435-339-0321. Looking at some of your texts, and by the way, if you want to give a score prediction, how you think this game is going to play out on Saturday, we'd love to hear it and see what you have in mind. 2444 sent this in before the show began this afternoon. Prediction if Lagasse starts: USU 38, San Jose State 31. Prediction if Hillstead starts: San Jose State 35, USU 27. Ooh, not a lot of confidence in Hillstead there.
I think people have lost confidence in, well, to be honest, I think our text line is much more in favor of Lagasse than Hillstead.
I mean, look how Cooper's played the last couple of games, and
well, they were this way before Cooper had played the way he had, so there was a lot of confidence in Lagasse before he went off, and since he's been absolutely crazy the last 3 games, averaging about 400 yards a game almost. Or close to 400 yards a game. It depends on how you weight that 200 yards in the one half, and if you try and account for that in terms of pace.
Right.
This is a guy who's basically averaging 360 yards for 3 straight games.
Well, if you consider all-purpose yards, because he's doing some stuff on the ground.
Yeah, well, and if you, again, he had 204 yards when he played one half. Account for that for a full game, close to 400 yards. He threw for 387 and 1, 367 something in the next. He's playing really well. And it makes Hillstead's numbers look a lot poorer in comparison, because I was going back over what Hillstead did. He comes in the first against Air Force, throws for 3 touchdowns, throws for 399 yards against James Madison, had 4 touchdowns, but also had 3 interceptions. Completes under 60% of his passes in that James Madison game. And then, I think 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions against UConn. Basically had 1 good pass. Numbers-wise, and that's the thing, is that numbers-wise, Lega is dwarfing Hillstead.
Right. There's more.
Yeah.
There's more data. There's more snaps.
The interesting thing is what's on film. Because I think Hillstead is better than his stats have shown. And Lega is just better than what he was before.
I will agree with it. I will definitely grant that. I think Lega is playing better football now than he was earlier in the year. I think he's quicker on his reads. He seems a little bit more confident and settled. He's still making some mistakes. Still a bit of a flawed quarterback, but he is better than he was. I don't think that's in dispute.
Yeah. Well, and I think the way Lega is playing recently, I wouldn't even call him a flawed quarterback. I mean, aside from if you want to critique, like, okay, he doesn't have a rocket arm, and that's like the one flaw I think you could say Lega has had these last few games. Now, he's not going to play like that every single game. At least I wouldn't expect him to. If he does, then, good on him. But it'll be interesting to see what they do at quarterback. And for me, I'm wondering if Hillstead and Lega play. If, they split snaps. Blake Anderson has been shown to be very willing to split quarterback snaps between multiple players. We saw it here at Utah State. Yeah. Bonner and Peasley splitting snaps for basically 2 games. Although they did split snaps against Air Force, but that was because Bonner got injured.
Mm-hmm.
But you also saw it with Anderson when he was back at Arkansas State. In 2020, he went the whole season splitting snaps between Logan Bonner again, and then Lane Hatcher, I can't remember. I wrote it down earlier because I put it in my preview, but splitting quarterback snaps for an entire season. So I'll be curious to see if he, plays both quarterbacks. Because I don't know if I've ever seen a guy throw for 360 yards in back-to-back games and get benched outright. All context and film analysis aside, I don't know if that can happen.
Yeah.
Because there are reasons to start Hillstead over Lega. But it's really hard to justify with how well Lega has been playing, to just bench him outright and not let him play at all.
A couple more texts coming through. We've got one from 5879. San Jose State plus decent O-line equals better than their record. Okay.
Wait.
Not
sure I fully understand.
Utah State better than their record?
Is it saying San Jose State is better than their record, or I don't know.
If you wouldn't mind adding a little bit more context there, 5879. Did send in a score prediction, though. It feels feeling good about the Aggies. USU 38, San Jose State 35. Talking about the San Jose State quarterback. Okay.
You're just saying San Jose State's better than their record?
San Jose State quarterback plus decent O-line equals better than their record.
Okay. Just saying San Jose State's better than their record. That's just fair. I think there's an argument, I think, to say San Jose State could be better than their record. But they really hurt their cause for saying they're better than their record with the loss to Boise State. So it's kind of like with Utah State and their loss to Fresno State.
Yeah.
Where if, they'd have a lot better argument for better than their record if they'd won those games where they showed maybe they're better than their record, but they didn't make the plays they needed to win those games.
Ultimately, it didn't yield a W in the end.
Yeah.
5452. Jason is a hater.
Yeah. just being realistic here. For me, it's like I need to see the Aggies making winning plays, and like they've made winning plays, and they made a winning play against UConn, and they just blew out Colorado State in the second half, which we'll count that as winning plays, but it's not the same as being able to make winning plays in a close game, like with Fresno State and James Madison, and even I don't give them full credit for UConn because they just about handed that game away, at least to a tie, then they would have had to play for overtime. So they still could. It's not like they would have lost that just had the PAT been made, but you only get partial credit for making game-winning plays.
Yes. 8798 texting in, Cooper Legas should be our starting quarterback for the rest of the year. It's not a quarterback issue when your defense is giving up 34 points a game and your offense is averaging 31 points a game. It's not a quarterback or offensive problem. We're losing games because our defense can't stop nothing. Anderson will start his boy Hillstead because that's what Anderson does once he finds his boy, just like what he did with Logan Bonner.
Yeah, because Anderson, like, I don't like this. Mind you, I agree with several things in here with 8798. One, whoever's in at quarterback is not going to be the problem. We've seen good things out of Hillstead and Legas. And I think at this point, like I said, the way Legas has been playing, why wouldn't you start him? There is nothing broken in this offense with what Legas has been doing.
I think he hangs onto the ball a little too long. He's not as efficient in the short game.
So did Hillstead. Hillstead hung onto the ball too long. He took more sacks than Legas did.
Yeah.
Like you can say, okay, Legas thrown some bad interceptions, but the interceptions against Fresno State weren't particularly bad.
No.
And Hillstead's thrown 5 of them himself.
Yeah, those 2 in Fresno State, those were not on Legas.
Yeah, so it's like there is nothing wrong with what Legas has in the last few weeks. Has he been perfect? No. He threw some bad throws against Fresno State. Everyone, when you throw the ball 30-plus times, a few of them are going to be bad. For me, I've gone from, after Hillstead went out against UConn, I thought, okay, when Hillstead comes back, he should start. I don't really believe that anymore with how Legas has been playing. He should start. And if he reverts back to how he was before these last few games, okay, give Hillstead a chance again. Have that leash with Legas. If he doesn't keep playing, he doesn't have to constantly be playing, 360 yards a game, but, playing well. But I do, this narrative about Blake Anderson just being in love with Logan Bonner. Like, Logan Bonner probably never won an off-season quarterback job his entire time playing under Anderson. I think maybe in 2019 he might have, but then he got injured. But in 2020, split the entire season with another quarterback. 2021, he comes in, and it's Logan Bonner was Anderson's guy. Comes with him to Arkansas State. Couldn't win the job over Andrew Peasley in the offseason.
It was a fair, equal battle through fall camp and even through the first game.
So, like, this
until
thing
the final series.
Yeah, so this thing about Blake Anderson just falling in love with the quarterback and just saying, this is the guy I'm going to go with no matter what, there is not evidence for that. Your best thing is, Bonner, I guess, at the beginning of last year. But what did Cooper Legas come in and did he dominate? No, he came in and was a decent quarterback. And the thing is with Bonner, Anderson keeps going back to Bonner because he has 2021 in his recent memory, a record-setting Mountain West championship. Of course he was going to try and play Bonner more because he can remember this guy once played really well. Let's keep going with him.
Yeah, he was a gamer that got back off, pulled himself off the turf multiple times, and still gave his team chances to win.
Yeah, and you can argue maybe he held on.
Led them to multiple victories.
You can argue maybe he held on to him for too long. But there is sound logical reasoning for what Anderson did with as far as Bonner and what he's doing with Legas. I don't like this narrative of, he was in love with Bonner, and of course he's going to go with his guy, and he hates Legas and just loves Hillstead. There's just...
Yeah, I agree. I'm not on that page there with 8798 on that issue.
But yeah, I know in a lot of these other things, it's the issue now as far as the Aggies winning games and winning games going forward, it's not going to be on the offense. The offense is perfectly fine. Whoever's at quarterback, it's on the defense. And that's where I think 8798 is spot on there.
Yeah, well, there's issues with the offensive line, but the winning or losing is not necessarily coming down to offensive efficiency. It's about, can you make a stop? Yeah. Can you get the other team off the field? All right, we're overdue for a timeout. We got more texts coming through. We'll get to those. We'll get to your predictions for the game on Saturday as well. 435-339-0321 here on the Full Court Press.
Hey, this is Jarek with Jarek's Fine Jewelry. This October marks our 15th year anniversary. So to celebrate, we want to treat you to an anniversary date. Make it a date night on us. Come engagement ring or anniversary ring shopping at Jarek's Fine Jewelry. We have thousands of designs to choose from, including the newest custom designs. With no strings attached and no purchase necessary, we will buy you a sweet treat at Yumberry. The entire month of October, come engagement ring or anniversary ring shopping, and Yumberry is on us. Make date night special. Make it Jarek.
Hi, this is Rusty Allen with LSS Insurance. Come learn all about Medicare and Social Security. The third Thursday, October 19th at 7 p.m. Call 752-9493 for details. It's never too early to plan for the future. Making an informed decision is key. We will answer all your questions and help you feel confident moving forward. Come the third Thursday, October 19th at 7 p.m. Call LSS at 752-9493 to RSVP. Walk-ins welcome.
Adams Wealth Advisors is proud to announce that they've been named as one of the best financial advisory firms in the country by USA Today. Start maximizing your wealth potential with a team of experienced advisors who specialize in working with high net worth individuals. Let Adams Wealth Advisors help you achieve your financial goals with a personalized approach to investment management and planning. For more information on how Adams Wealth Advisors can help you achieve your financial goals, go to adamswealthadvisors.com. That's adamswealthadvisors.com.
Do you have a backup generator, or have you explored the options of adding one to your home? Generac backup generators will keep your home or business safe and cool during the summer months if the power goes out. Do you already have a system? Golden Spike Electric can service it for you. If you don't have one, Golden Spike Electric can find the right model for your needs. Find them online at gsegenerators.com or call 435-257-3016. Golden Spike Electric and Generac, power you can count on.
Security. It's the most precious thing you can give your home, especially if it's guaranteed. No cheap locks, no weak keys, no inadequate hardware, just the expertise and precision and security. Beezer Lock and Key believes there's no place like a safe home, and no home safer than one secured by them. It may seem they only sell locks and keys, but what they really sell is peace of mind. Search Beezer Lock and Key or go to 4th North and 1st West and just add confidence.
As the leaves fall, so do the prices at Murdoch Chevrolet.
Harvest the best deals during our fall sales event.
The summer heat is cooling off, and there's no better time to get out and drive.
Receive 0% for 3 years, plus no payments for 90 days on a Silverado.
When you walk through our doors, you feel like family.
At Murdoch Chevrolet in Logan and Woods Cross, or online at murdochchev.com. Chevrolet, find new roads.
Call 866-628-3065 or see dealer for complete details. Offer expires 10/31/23.
The Aggies, Jazz, high schools, even the Pee Wee's T-ball team. It's the Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, The Fan.
Welcome back to the Full Court Press. Eric Frandsen, Jason Walker. And you, lots of your texts coming through. We'll get to those. 435-339-0321 if you want to chime in. Getting your predictions for the game on Saturday. It can be a score prediction for sure, but if there's other things that you predict may happen on Saturday between Utah State and San Jose State, love to hear those and share them with us on our text line. 5452 texting in. Can't make a winning play against Fresno when a blatant holding PI on the last drive isn't called either.
That's a fair enough argument, but then I would counter with you shouldn't have given up the long touchdown drive to let Fresno State go ahead. Shouldn't have had to have a game-winning drive.
We have the lead in the fourth quarter on your home field. The odds are that you should win that game.
Yeah. See, I'm trying to think how long that final drive was. I can't get there quite fast enough. But yeah, you gave up a long touchdown drive. And it's fair, like it was a PI that should have been called. I'm not going to try and counter that, but like I said, the defense could have made game-winning plays. And it goes back to what 8798 was saying. The offense had pretty much already done enough to win that game. The defense failed them. The offense had to go back out there, and the offense can't play perfect. Nobody's going to play perfect for that long, and they made a crucial mistake. But the defense should have been able to make a play there.
7241. I'm not sure about the argument of Hillstead taking more sacks. He played the games against the teams who are way better at the pass rush, didn't he?
I think that's actually true. Is James Madison better against the pass rush? Air Force better against the pass rush? I don't know how many sacks.
Iowa's pretty good against the pass rush.
They're all right.
Fresno's okay.
But Air Force and James Madison were the better of the
Yes, they
ones.
were. That's something they excel at.
But Hillstead took more sacks against Air Force than Legault did. Hillstead, I think, ended up playing a little bit more, but Legault hadn't taken very many sacks. Hillstead just took a bunch of them. And I think that's something that just Hillstead overall struggled with was, and some of it was on the offensive line, but some of it also, as Blake Anderson's talked about, in regards to both quarterbacks, is that some of the pass protection is on the quarterback.
Right, you got to call that out.
Because they
move your running back where you need him to be to help pass protect.
Yeah, and he's part of calling out pass protection schemes. So, for instance, there was one play which live looked like the left tackle just let the guy blow by him. Later, Anderson was saying that was on the quarterback because he didn't call out the protection, which, again, I can't analyze that properly because I don't have their playbook and schemes, and I don't know all that. But
yeah,
it's just something with both those quarterbacks that I think Hillstead struggled a bit. And, again, there is that argument with playing better teams, but I think Hillstead struggled a bit more with sacks than Legault has.
Also, 7241 says, yeah, Jason, why do you hate the Aggies so much? You were accused of being a hater earlier.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. 8084 texting in, we're back to the Peasley and Bonner year. Cooper has a better arm, can scramble much better, can't be that tough of a decision at this point. Plus, has McKay Hillstead even won a game this year?
Well, he hasn't played the only complete game he played was James Madison. Technically, Hillstead is 1-0 as a starter. Technically.
Yeah, because they won the
that was the UConn game, but he didn't finish
that game.
And they were losing when he left. But with the way quarterback records work, it's kind of weird that way. But yeah, Hillstead doesn't have a full game win under his belt. So I don't know if Cooper has a better arm. He can run better. He is a better runner. Hillstead may or may not be like faster, 5'11", but Legault's a better runner. Arm, they're pretty similar. Legault, I don't know, accuracy, maybe I have to go back and watch film again. I know Legault's completed more passes, but it's more complicated than completion percentage when you talk about accuracy. But for me, at this point, like if you're going to argue for McKay Hillstead, because I really loved what I saw out of McKay Hillstead, even with the lower completion percentage and some interceptions. There was a lot that I liked out of Hillstead. The thing is that at this point, like, what is McKay Hillstead bringing that Cooper Legault isn't? When they put Hillstead in against Air Force, there were things that Hillstead was doing that Legault wasn't. He was driving the offense. He was passing the ball down the field really well. He was opening up the passing game. Well, Hillstead went out, Cooper Legault came in, and he was driving the offense, throwing the ball downfield really well, opening up the passing game. So why would we go back to Hillstead at this point? Even though, really like what he did, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Against Air Force, it was broke, and they tried to fix it, and they kind of did. Legault came in, and I think, it's still good. So for me, even though, at one point I was much more on the, Hillstead train, go with him, at this point, why change anything?
5879, how do you think the team views this game? So they figure they just need to win 3 more, and that's all they have to play for, or is the team still hungry?
Oh, they're hungry.
They're hungry.
They definitely want to try and aim for that, 7-8 wins.
They don't want to just get bowl eligible. They want to remove any doubt that they're going to a bowl game. They want to win games, and they feel like they can. So it's a confident bunch that feel like they can. If you were to ask them, there's no question in their mind. They'd say, "Oh, we're better than our record indicates."
Yeah, they would certainly say that. I mean, you got guys that are coming out. Jalen Royal saying, I think I'm the best receiver in college football. Like, that's the level of confidence these guys are bringing, that they are the best. I think Anthony Switzer, he talked about him. He talked about himself being one of the best players in college football. Like, this is how they think of themselves, and it's a good thing. Every player should go out there thinking they're the best. Obviously, you want to try and understand your role and stay within that role, and not try and do everything yourself. But
confidence without arrogance.
Yeah, that's the key. In confidence without making stupid plays because of that.
Right.
And I think they're all doing a really good job trying to use that confidence to get better. And they have been getting better. There are improvements to this team. If they keep doing those, then we won't have conversations about whether or not they're better on their record. We'll have conversations about this team being a 7 or 8 win team. But till that point, I want to see the improvement before I believe it.
Right.
And that's part of my thing, because when we get to score predictions later on in the hour, a big reason why it's labored over, and I think both of us were laboring over, not just what the score would be, but who would win this game. Mm-hmm. And on my part, I won't speak to for your process, but for me, it's I made the argument that the Aggies are who they are, 3-4 and all that. So that's the kind of mindset that I'm using. It's this is a team that, to me, hasn't yet proven they can win a game like this on the road against a decent San Jose State team. So am I going to predict those improvements, or am I going to wait until, am I going to enter prove-it mode? You'll find out what my decision was in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, when I look at San Jose, we're again looking at, are they as good as their record indicates? Are they better? Are they worse? I think this is a team that's San Jose State is a team that's south of decent, but I'd say they're north of not good.
Yeah, they're
somewhere in the middle there.
They're not the Yukons or even Colorado State where they're struggling. They're not Nevada, New Mexico. So that's why when you talk about going on the road against a team that's not going to roll over and just let you win, they have real strengths. They have real weaknesses, but they have real strengths. Can the Aggies overcome that team, not make dumb mistakes, and have the Aggies actually play to their strengths and actually execute?
Let's see, 5452. Jason is pointing to an emoji of what's that guy's name?
I can't remember his name either. It's Will Ferrell from that news.
Oh,
I can't remember what the movie's called.
Ron Burgundy, that's his name.
Yeah.
It's Ron Burgundy gif.
Saying, I don't believe you. Which part did you not believe me? The laboring over my score? Or?
Yeah, I don't know. But I think, look, if we were to look at, if we had last year's Utah State team facing this year's San Jose State team, I'd say, yeah, Utah State defensively is going to help carry the day. They're going to, I have no question, Utah State should be favored to win at San Jose. San Jose State is, by record, worse than they are a year ago. But I'm not sure I know where Utah State is either. That's why this game has been a challenge for me to try to predict.
Yeah, well, I think the biggest thing for me is the two considerations were, can I predict how many mistakes Utah State's going to make? So they don't make too many mistakes, don't have turnovers, too many sacks, too many penalties. I'd be very confident in the Aggies winning this game. Because if they don't do those things against Fresno State, they win that game. If they don't do those things against Iowa, they probably win that game. So like if I just boil this down to where do the Aggies rank in offense, where do they rank in defense, and all these other things, all of those tell me that Utah State should definitely win this game. But I have to account for the fact that the Aggies make mistakes. And I have to account for the fact that San Jose State's 2-5 for a reason. They're going to make mistakes too. So I'm trying to balance this thing of, okay, I have two teams, the numbers, then I have to account for what imperfections are going to happen. It's also on the road, and I don't know. There's a lot that I had to try and take into this, and I'm still probably going to be way off.
More texts coming through. We'll get to those. If you want to weigh in as well, we'd love to hear from you. 435-339-0321, predicting Utah State and San Jose State. How you think it's going to go down on Saturday night?
Box Elder residents, the state's wood stove conversion assistance program is coming to you October 16th. Sign up right away as funds will be gone quickly. Advanced Fireplace and Stove in Logan can help you replace your old, outdated wood fireplace and get a rebate of up to $4,300. Advanced Fireplace and Stove is Best of Northern Utah winner in the fireplace category and an authorized vendor for this program. They have rebates of up to $100 from Heat and Glow gas fireplaces or $300 from Quadrifire pellet and wood stoves. Advanced Fireplace and Stove. Online, advancedfireplaceandstove.com.
Elements has delicious lunch specials. Soup, salad, and bread for just $10 is tasty and quick. Elements lunch menu is full of scrumptious items. Wood-fired pizzas are an excellent choice that include barbecued chicken and the bee's knees. The fresh battered halibut fish and chips with seasoned fries is always a hit. And don't forget the fan favorite, Chipotle fried chicken sandwich. Thursdays, enjoy Elements house-made smoked brisket. Casual or professional. Open Monday through Thursday, 11:30 to 8 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11:30 to 9. Visit theelementsrestaurant.com for reservations.
Are you tired of the same old boring eyewear? Crystal Vision in Logan is your go-to destination for unique and stylish eyewear. Their one-of-a-kind collection features exclusive styles and designs that will help you stand out from the crowd. Say goodbye to ordinary and hello to extraordinary. They push the boundaries with fresh styles and vibrant colors that reflect your personality. At Crystal Vision, it's not just about eyewear, it's about making a statement. Discover your unique style today. Crystal Vision. See the world through a different lens online at crystalvision.com.
JM Mechanical has moved to a new location, 222 West, 2850 North, Suite A, North Logan, just north of Airport Road. Be sure to stop in for all questions and to purchase filters. Fall temperatures are here and your heating system needs to be dusted off. JM Mechanical knows how to fix, tune up, or replace every type of heating brand. Fast 24-hour heating service is available in Box Elder, Cache, and Franklin counties with a 100% satisfaction guarantee and upfront pricing. Call JM Mechanical at 563-6267. That's 563-6267.
Sunday on Compass Media Network's coverage of the NFL. It's a mile-high showdown as the Denver Broncos host the Green Bay Packers. Hi, this is Jeff Biggs. Join Bill Rosinski, Steve Berline, and me as Jordan Love and the well-rested Packers battle it out with Russell Wilson and the Broncos. It's the Green Bay Packers and the Denver Broncos. If it's the NFL, it's right here.
Pre-game begins Sunday afternoon at 1:45 on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM, The Fan.
They never could play it, but they sure can talk about it. Eric Frandsen and Jason Walker on the Full Court Press.
Welcome back to the Full Court Press. Yeah, that'll be a fun NFL game to have here on The Fan this Sunday. Jordan Love. Certainly a lot of former Aggies, current Aggie fans. So watching the former Aggie player, I should say, with Green Bay. There's still a lot of Denver Broncos fans in the area. So definitely one to pay attention to as you're out and about on Sunday. Take the fan with you. Tune into the NFL game. So predicting Utah State, San Jose State. Trying to get an idea of how things might play out Saturday, 5 o'clock kickoff. Pregame will start a little bit after 3 o'clock on our sister station, KVNU, on Saturday afternoon, and go up until the coach's pregame comments. Full play-by-play on 102 FM, 610 AM, and as soon as the game is over, we'll be back on the air with KVNU Aggie Call to take your reactions to what happened in San Jose. 8968 texting in. I don't know who should start at quarterback, but let's look at the fact that the wide receivers have been paying much along with better running back play. That would make most quarterbacks look better.
Yeah, I think the fact that Jalen Royals and the whole receiver corps have been playing well certainly made, you could say it made Cooper Legal look better. But you could probably say a lot of that about Logan Bonner, too. His wide receiver corps made him look really good.
Yes, in 2021 for sure.
It's something that feeds into itself. Like Cooper Legas has still got to throw the accurate enough passes, and he has. The wide receivers have made themselves more open and have helped him a lot more. So, it's a two-way street there. And we're seeing great play from both quarterback and wide receivers and the running backs.
The San Jose State run defense is not particularly great.
Nope.
Teams love to run on them.
They've done it pretty well,
They've done pretty well. So that's going to help whomever it is at QB look better.
Yeah, honestly, I think this game should be more about running the ball than it is about whoever's at quarterback. They should be running the ball 40 times, run it down their throat, run it till they stop it. And I doubt they will. Pull out the big plays, throw it deep to Jalen Royals and whoever, every now and again as well, keep them honest. And, burn them when they try and sell out on the run. But this should be a game where you dominate with the run game. Not like that Idaho State game where the Aggies barely even had to try to pass the ball. They just kept running. Do that in this game. Whoever's in at quarterback, throw a little bit less, spread them out, run the ball, throw it deep when you need to.
Keep the defense guessing.
Yeah, but it should be largely focused around being able to run the ball.
5879, Vegas has dropped and now only favors the Spartans by 4. Yeah, I believe it opened at, was it 5.5?
It's 5 or 5.5.
So it's moved a little bit towards the Aggies.
Yeah, a lot of, from a national perspective, the Spartans are still favored. Which, I don't know. The Aggies can't catch a break with any of these spreads. But because I think the Aggies should be favored in this one.
Yeah.
Not by much, but I think they should be favored.
Yeah, I think that's a little too much. 9310, a team, sorry.
Yeah, there's a couple.
There's another one before that. We're not better than our record. Got lucky beating UConn. Shouldn't have lost to James Madison. 3-4 is what we are. And then a team that's better than their record is Sam Houston State. They're 0-7 with close losses to BYU and Air Force, 2 overtime losses.
Yeah, they might be the best winless team I've ever seen. I think their defense is actually pretty good from what I've seen. They
made it tough to run on.
Yeah, whenever I've looked, especially when I was looking, Air Force before that Air Force game, like Sam Houston State played. Both BYU and Air Force good at that point. And I know Sam Houston State's been on the. I know they hadn't won a game since, but yeah, they've been close. But are somehow 0-7. I'd still say they're a bad team, but probably better than 0-7. Means their offense must be horrible.
Yeah, their offense is not good.
No,
at all. Let's do this. We're going to take another timeout here in the Full Court Press. When we come back, we'll give our score predictions. Love to continue to get yours as well. How we think things will go down in San Jose Saturday afternoon. Utah State at San Jose State. Kickoff is at 5. If you want to give us your score prediction, we'd love to hear it. 435-339-0321.
The Cache Valley Media Group Logan Holiday Gift Show is presented by Coppins Hallmark Friday and Saturday, November 3rd and 4th at the Riverwoods Conference Center. It's the perfect place to kick off your holiday shopping. Ideas and treats for the entire family. Clothing, books, jewelry, purses, home and holiday decor, baby items, and don't miss everyone's favorite guest, Santa. The Logan Holiday Gift Show presented by Coppins Hallmark Friday and Saturday, November 3rd and 4th at the Riverwoods Conference Center. Start your holiday shopping off right.
When it comes to home care, it's important to know you have a choice. If you or a loved one is in need of hospice or home health services, remember that Primrose Home Care and Hospice believes in treating the patient as well as the problem. We work directly with you and your doctor to create a health plan that's catered to your needs. Our team is devoted to providing options in the freedom and safety of your own home. Visit us at primrosecare.com or call to schedule a free consultation. Primrose Home Care and Hospice, your local hospice and home health provider since 2006.
Saturday on Compass Media Network's coverage of NCAA football. It's a heavyweight showdown in the SEC as the 11th-ranked Alabama Crimson Tide hosts the 17th-ranked Tennessee Volunteers. Hi, it's Greg Daniels. Join Chad Brown and me for all the action as the Crimson Tide look to remain perfect in conference play as the Vols head into Bryant-Denny Stadium with victory on their mind. It's number 11 Alabama and number 17 Tennessee. If it's NCAA football, it's right here.
Pregame begins Saturday afternoon at 1 on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM, The Fan.
Want to set yourself apart from the competition? The Leadership MBA at Utah State University will help you lead companies and drive change in your organization. You can attend in person in Logan on Thursday evenings or take an interactive online class. Complete your MBA in as little as a year. Apply before November 1st to be considered for a January start. Contact the MBA office for a waiver of the $55 application fee. Learn more at utahstatemba.com. That's utahstatemba.com.
If cost is preventing you from calling an attorney after your accident, you can stop worrying now. You can call the Advocates and discuss your case with an experienced Cache Valley attorney at no cost to you. At the Advocates, when we say you pay zip, nil, nothing, we mean it. Our consultations are free, and we don't get paid unless we win your case. Let us be your advocate, and we will fight for the settlement you deserve without you ever opening your wallet. Call 801-355-5550 or chat online at utahadvocates.com.
This is Nate Lamson with Valley Office Systems, your home team when local matters. Valley Office Systems is your local provider for all things office, copiers, printers, furniture, and document management. Proudly serving Cache Valley since 2007. Visit valleyofficesystems.com.
The Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
Napa Auto Parts has the parts you need, and to have your car ready for winter. Diesel additives from Howes, Power Service, Schaefer's, and Stanadine. Napa Auto Parts ready to help at your 5 locally owned Preston to Providence locations. That's Napa Auto Parts. 435-339-0321 if you want to give us your score prediction for Saturday, Utah State at San Jose State. Looking at, let's go back and look at the over-under on this one at 66.5.
Oh, it's moved. I thought last I saw, I thought it was 66, or maybe it was 66.5, and I forgot.
So put both teams in the
low 30s.
Low 30s. So
Low to
how do
high
you think
30s.
this game's going to go? So your score prediction, how you think this game's going to play out, Jason?
So I think it's going to be a little higher scoring than 66 total points. When you look at the Aggies, they've given up lots of points, scored a lot of points. San Jose State, they haven't scored a ton of points in a lot of these games, but I think Utah State's defense, fact Spartans are playing at home, I think they'll be able to score a few more points, get into the 30s. Talk about laboring over whether or not the Aggies are going to win this game. I think overall, with some of the improvements we've seen, I think they're going to continue to improve. I don't know if San Jose State is big enough to just be able to bully the Aggies around the way some other teams were. I think the Aggies will start decently well enough. They'll be able to run the ball from the get-go, I think. I think the Aggies will struggle on defense in a lot of ways. They'll struggle stopping the run. But I think they'll do well enough that they'll come away with the win in this one. I've got the Aggies winning this game 41-34.
Ah, okay. 41-34. So there are things that I like about Utah State, how things are moving in a better direction. The trend is this team is starting better and scoring points, good running game, good wide receivers, good tight end, questionable offensive line. The defense has to be better for Utah State. They're going to be tested. This is a pretty balanced offense from San Jose. A good quarterback who can run and scramble. They've got some good running backs as well. But in the end, I think this is going to be more of a shootout. I think this, for me, whomever reaches 35 points first is probably going to win. And I've got Utah State at 36 and San Jose at 32. So I think this will be a close game. There's not a lot that tells me one team's going to dominate the other. I think it's going to be a close game between two teams that are scrappy and trying to figure some things out for their teams.
Yeah, I think it'll be close. I mean, I've got it as a one-possession game. You've got it as a half-possession game with a weird score there.
It is. It is weird.
But I shouldn't mock you because you've done a lot better on score predictions than I have this year. So
I'm not sure how they get to that 36-32, but
we saw the Aggies get to 32 somehow. Go back and double-check how they did it, but 36 is a bit weird.
4781 texting in 33-31. Utah State 33, Scrubs 31.
I would hope if you're calling a team Scrubs, you would hope they'd beat them by more than 2 points. Has he been doing that with all the teams that the Aggies have faced? I can't remember.
4781?
Yeah, it feels like
we haven't had very many score predictions for 4781. Scrolling over the history here, and I'm not seeing a lot of score predictions there.
No, I had a couple of score predictions that came on, asked from on Twitter. Eric Walker, he's saying, based on the last 15 years, USU 100, San Jose State 0. But probably more like Utah State 51, San Jose State 34. Sam McConkey has 41-31 for Utah State, so not too far away from mine.
Similar to yours.
So, yeah. I was wondering if the Aggies could maybe get over 40 points because they've only done that against Idaho State and then against Colorado State. And I know both of those were at home. We've talked about the Aggies playing much better at home. But I think the Aggies will be able, with the way they'll be able to run the ball and the way they're rolling with the passing game, I think they'll be able to put up a lot of points. I think they'll do just enough to slow down San Jose State. They're not going to stop them, but they're not going to get rolled by San Jose State's offense.
4781 quickly says, no, this is the first one. Talking about score prediction. I'm calling them scrubs because USU could very well lose to them. You never know with this season. And then 0298 texting in. First timer, thanks for texting in. Is San Jose in top 29 in country? If not, Aggies win 35-28. That's a very good point. If they're in top 29, their chances of winning are not that great.
Yeah.
All right, more about Utah State, San Jose State. We got volleyball final RPI of the season and more to predict for tomorrow and the weekend. Stay tuned.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Finding a long-term NFL head coach isn't easy. One of the more common places teams look for a solution is at the college level. And now rumors of Lincoln Riley having interest in transitioning to the professional ranks, NFL teams may be circling around another promising head coach. Although an elite college coach may appear attractive, success is not always guaranteed. The most recent example is former Carolina Panther head coach Matt Rule, 2 successful double-digit win seasons at Temple, and successfully turned Baylor into a competitor in the Big 12. His time with the Panthers, much different. After being made one of the league's higher-paid coaches, Rule lasted just 2 seasons. Urban Meyer, Nick Saban, and Steve Spurrier all experienced similar struggles. Riley's extensive success with quarterbacks makes it hard to blame NFL GMs for showing interest. But when you look at the long list of great college coaches who have failed, future success is far from guaranteed. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise.